Would you consider Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi a whistleblower?
Good morning. Yes, I would in this case. I think there might be people who differ from me, but I think the way that this was done certainly would fit into whistleblower status. Many people have said that he is a police officer and that he should have followed a different channel. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about it. I feel like I've got this constant debate in my mind because I feel like due process and the rule of law are critical. But I also ask a certain question that if he were to just report it to his seniors or to anyone else for that matter, would it have received the attention that it deserves?
All right. And, whistleblowers are supposed to be protected, etc. What would you say should be the next step now?
Well, I think in terms of General Mkhwanazi, he knows the risks that he took. He said that during his, so I've got no illusion that he knows the risks, but both, I guess, physical and figuratively speaking, in terms of his job, etc. But in terms of what should be done, I think there's an integrity management crisis, broadly speaking, in the South African Police Service. I'm really concerned about the total disarray that we've seen over the last few weeks, especially. We all felt like things were boiling up to a certain point. We know that the National Commissioner will soon retire, or must soon retire. There are moves in terms of people wanting to become the new head of the Hawks as well. And I think it's caused a lot of destabilizing efforts, let's call it that for now, within the senior ranks of the South African Police Service. And obviously it's the ordinary South Africans that suffer under this. Nevertheless, I think in terms of lifestyle audits, as you correctly mentioned, I think it's critical that an independent body starts doing that. There's no reason why the entire top structure from brigadier and upwards can't be audited in this way, that we have proper lifestyle audits, that we also do the relevant skills audit to make sure that whoever is there, apart from being beyond reproach in terms of integrity, are actually skilled to do the job.
SAPS Turmoil reveals the challenges for our commander-in-chief. When President Ramaphosa ascended to power in 2018, he punched above his weight by making huge promises that would propel South Africa to stardom. He promised to correct what he called 9 wasted years under President Jacob Zuma, whom he deputized in the ANC and government. He also promised to deliver the new dawn. Once the wheels started rolling, they quickly fell a fan sent car in all directions. One of the areas where challenges have been with witnessed the security cluster, which was Sakasduff dropping the ball in the Nkandla matter. The expectation was that the security cluster would install security features at Zuma's private home in line with its mandate. Later, it was discovered that many things went wrong. Zuma was accused of squandering public funds. Instead of blaming the security cluster for failing to execute its mandate under Ramaphosa in July 2021, KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng went ablaze as public protests engulfed these provinces following Justice Sisi Kampipi's emotional ruling that Zuma must be incarcerated for 15 months at the Estcourt prison. The security cluster could have prevented the riots, which had devastating effects from which people have not fully recovered. Many lives were lost, people lost jobs, and several businesses closed. This led to a trust deficit between the public and the security cluster. Worried about potential public backlash and determined to redeem the image of the cluster, Ramaphosa made some Shanjasinthi security cluster. Among them was the removal of Minister Ayanda Deladlo from her position. While others were left untouched, Ramaphosa was indicted by some for taking action to address the embarrassment, but others blamed him for not being decisive and doing enough to curtail future occurrences of something similar. Continuing challenges in the South African Police Service SAPS have been a cause for concern. Some police members are arrested for criminal activities, accused of contaminating crime scenes, not treating complainants properly, raping some of the complainants, opting to ridicule those who come to open cases, accused of making dockets disappear, and either protecting or working with criminals. Such stories have been in the public domain, while the incidents do not involve all SAPS members, since others are honest and professional. They do tarnish the image of the service. The country's defense force has also been in the media for the wrong reasons. Reports of defense force members killing, Their colleagues or being implicated in other wrongdoings, either individually or collectively, are concerning. Play video. Immigration is another sector where problems have occurred. Apart from complaints about long queues, which can be avoided, there are other serious matters. Reports about bribery have been in the media. The miraculous exit of Shepherd Bushiri back to Malawi while he was facing charges, together with his wife, raised eyebrows. The increasing number of illegal immigrants raises concerns. This has in the past triggered Afrophobia, which was wrongly dubbed xenophobia. In a nutshell, the security cluster has been receiving bad publicity. This is not to say that there are no honest and professional South Africans in these units. Sadly, their good work is overshadowed by the wrongs of their colleagues. As the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the president, whoever it may be, is inevitably drawn in. Ramaphosa is the incumbent. Therefore, the buck stops with him. What has he done to protect the image of the security cluster? If he has not done enough, why is that the case? Importantly, how does his inaction breathe life into the new dawn promise? Recent revelations made by General Nalanda Mkhwanazi are damning. While these allegations are tested, verified, and authenticated, they paint a dark picture about top brass at SAPS. What makes these allegations plausible is that they speak to some of the concerns the public has expressed in the past. Since assuming his current position, Mkhwanazi has been accused of leading gun-crazy police officers. Some human rights groups even confronted him, arguing that the suspects have rights. Interestingly, they were silent about the police officers who were assassinated while on duty defending innocent South Africans. Putting SAPS protocol aside, Mkhwanazi has given the nation a taste of what could be happening behind the scenes. Given the seriousness of the allegations he made during the media briefing, the onus is on Ramaphosa to show astute and decisive leadership. The call is not for him to summarily dismiss those implicated in Mkhwanazi's public statements. What is expected from the president is to suspend those individuals pending the investigations. If it is true that people who are not members of SAPS have a say in what happens there, this would make a mockery of the accusations leveled against the Gupta family. What happened to the recommendations of the Sydney Mufamadi report? Did Ramaphosa implement those? If nothing was done, what difference would it make to set up another investigation to verify the statements made by Mkhwanazi? In other words, has Ramaphosa demonstrated astute and decisive leadership in the past? If not, is this not an opportune moment for him to do so to regain public trust, both for his political image and that of the country? To what extent does his action and or inaction impact the ANC's performance in the polls? These are very critical questions. Considering the above, if the security cluster is not performing at the expected level, where does Thatalavi's DA's proposal about devolution of powers to provincial governments? More importantly, what does that say about South Africa's status of being a unitary state as opposed to being a federal state? Should the country embark on a constitutional amendment to address weaknesses in the security cluster? In a nutshell, General Nalanda Mkhwanazi's revelations have tacitly invoked importation about the state of our country's security. Implicitly, it implores the president to self-reflect on how he has performed his function as commander-in-chief. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks.